Why you systematically overestimate your knowledge and abilities. Overconfidence effect. My favorite musician, John Sebastian Bach, was anything but one bit wonder. He composed numerous works. How many there were I will reveal at the end of this chapter. But for now on, here's a small assignment. How many concertos do you think Bach composed? Choose a range, for example, between 100 and 500, aiming for an estimate that is 98% correct and only 2% off. How much confidence should we have in our own knowledge? Psychologists Howard Trifa and Mark Albert, wondering the same thing, have interviewed hundreds of people in this way. They have asked participants to estimate the total egg production in the US, or the number of physicians and surgeons listed in yellow pages of the phone directory of Boston, or the number of foreign authorities imported into the US, or even the toll collection of Panama Canal in millions of dollars. Subjects could choose any range they liked, with the aim of not being wrong more than 2% of the time. The results were amazing. In the final tally, instead of just 2%, they were off 40% of the time. The researcher dubbed this amazing phenomenon overconfidence. Overconfidence also applies to forecasts, such as a stock market performance over a year or your firm's profit over 3 years. We systematically overestimate our knowledge and our ability to predict on a massive scale. The overconfidence effect does not deal with whether a single estimate are correct or not. Rather, as Taleb puts it, it measures the difference between what people actually know and how much they think they know. What's surprising is this: experts suffer even more from overconfidence than lay people do. If asked to forecast oil price in next 5 years, an economic professor will be as wide of the mark as a zookeeper will. However, the professor will offer his forecast with certitude. Overconfidence does not stop at economics. According to Taleb, 84% of Frenchmen estimate that they are above average lovers. Without the overconfidence effect, that figure should be exactly 50%. After all, the statistically median means 50% should rank higher and 50% should rank lower. In another survey, 93% of the US students asked estimated themselves to be above average drivers, and 68% of the faculty at the University of Nebraska rated themselves in top 25% for teaching ability. Entrepreneurs and those wishing to marry also deem themselves to be different. They believe they can beat the odds. In fact, entrepreneur real activity would be a lot lower if overconfidence did not exist. For example, every restaurant hopes to establish the next Michelin starred restaurant, even though statistics shows that most close their doors just 3 years. The return on investment in the restaurant business lies chronically below zero. Hardly any major project exists that are completed in less time and at a lower cost than forecasted. Some delays and cost overruns are even legendary, such as the Airbus A400M, the Sydney Opera House, the Boston Big Dig. The list can be added at will. Why is that? Here, two effects act in union. First, you have classic overconfidence. Second, those with direct interest in the project have an incentive to underestimate the cost. Consultants, contractors, and suppliers seek follow up orders. Builders feel bolstered by the optimistic figure, and though their activities, politicians get more votes. We'll examine this strategic misrepresentation later in the book. What makes overconfidence so prevalent and its effects so confounding is that it is not driven by incentives. It is raw and innate, and it's not counterbalanced by the opposite effect, underconfidence, which does not exist. No surprise to some reader. Overconfidence is more pronounced in men. Women tend not to overestimate their knowledge and abilities as much. Even more troubling, optimists are not the only victim of overconfidence. Even self-proclaimed pessimists overrates themselves, just less extremely. In conclusion, be aware that you tend to overestimate your knowledge. Be skeptical of the prediction, especially if they come from so called experts. And with all plans, favor the pessimistic scenario. This way, you have a chance of judging the situation somewhat realistically. Back to the question from the beginning. John Sebastian Bach composed 1127 works that survive to this day. He may have composed considerably more, but they are lost.